So the first thing I wanted to start off with was just a rough overview of FunnelFLARE and how it can help with some of the sales acceleration problems that we talked about at the start there. FunnelFLARE is a sales enablement or a sales automation platform. So it helps salespeople do more stuff in a day, helps them manage more leads, and helps them generate more leads if their job is in lead generation. So one of the cool things about FunnelFLARE is that it does work natively with NoCRM. So we've got a native connection to NoCRM. We're able to talk back and forth with it and really extend the functionality of it and work really well with it. So within the FunnelFLARE platform, there's kind of four main pillars, I guess, of the platform. There's a sales dialer. There's email automation that can also be used for sales sequencing, which I'll show you in a little bit here. There's prospect insights, and that shows you when people are reading your emails or when they're visiting your website and that kind of thing. And then there's appointment scheduling. And I think a lot of salespeople out there are starting to use that appointment scheduling bit. So here it really helps in that you're able to automate around that as well. Now, just to start off with for this morning, we're going to be talking about increasing sales capacity with FunnelFLARE and how it can help people who use NoCRM to sell more and to manage more. So this is for your typical salespeople or your account managers. For them, there are a couple of different sales challenges, primarily around time wasters or around how they can manage more touch points with their prospects. If we think about a typical day in a typical life of a salesperson these days, there's a lot of stuff you do that's not selling, not talking to prospects, not understanding what their needs are, not working through whether you do spin selling or value-based or however which way your sales methodology is. There's a lot of following up, scheduling the following up, managing a task management system, or putting stuff into your calendar if that's the way you do it, or writing it on Post-it notes. And then playing phone tag with prospects where you call them, they call you back, and you're just trying to set up a meeting with them. And then switching platforms as well is one of those things that really kills time and kills the effectiveness of salespeople. Like salespeople, if they can just stay in one platform and do a whole bunch of one activity, they're going to be very effective at that activity. And that's really what we want to have happen. We want to let them do that kind of thing. So primarily for salespeople, I'm going to hold myself like hard to that switching platforms bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can use FunnelFLARE inside the NoCRM interface, because if you already use NoCRM as your contact management platform, we're really going to need to enhance that and keep salespeople there so that they're not task switching and they can just be more effective and leverage some of the tools from right within that platform. So I'm actually going to go live right now because I kind of like live stuff. I like to see the technology. I like to see it in use, and that's just the kind of guy I am. I like to see stuff being used. So here we see an example of a NoCRM contact view. We're looking at this Bob Smith. We can see here that we've got some notes that we've placed in here that have been logged. These calls and these notes have been automatically logged, which is kind of nice. We didn't have to go in and separately do these notes. Some of the other things we can do, we can actually extend our abilities on what we can do with Bob. So, for example, if we wanted to reach out to Bob, let's say we're on a call with them, and he's like, "Yeah, you know what? Sounds good. Can you send me a quote?" One of the cool things you can do right inside of NoCRM is access your common templates that you want to send out. So I've got a quote one here. I've got a data sheet. Let's send them a quote. That's going to pop up on my other screen. Let me just drag that over, and you can see here that this quote email has been personalized. So it says quote follow-up from AJ, who's a salesperson. It's sending to their email address. It says, "Hey Bob, here's the quote for it. I could customize it here if I wanted to, and then I can just send this email." So this makes it for a very, very quick way. I'm not even going into Gmail or Outlook or anything, even though this is sending through my native email platform, and it's going to show up in my sent and everything. This makes it super duper quick to finish common things. So sending common emails, common follow-up emails and that kind of thing. No sense rewriting this a million times every single time I talk to someone, they want a quote. I'm not going to bust out one of these. I'm not going to jump over to my email when I can just do it right in here, right inside this interface. So that's going to save me a little bit of time there. And again, saving time on all these little interactions is the name of the game. Just to show another prospect here, I'm going to show you something else here, and that's our prospect insights. So with Allison Bryant, we've got a little bit of prospect insights we can look into. We can see her phone number, we can see her email address, company, and in fact, we could text from here. So we could send a text message right from within this interface. And again, it pulls over to my other screen there, but we're able to send quick text messages. You can see here I've got like some junk messages here and right now. I could also call, and this is going to use just my headset from my computer. So if you're remote, if you're working from home, this is a very handy way to do these calls right from your desktop. Make the call, and you can choose as an option to record the call and transcribe the call. Now, for myself, this is fantastic. Like I used to manage a team of account managers, and they would spend their time inside meetings with clients typing all the notes about everything that happened in the call. Fantastic note takers, but not spending the time selling to the prospect. And I think that choosing to record those outbound calls and attach them directly to the prospect, much better idea. That way you're not having to be so fastidious. Fastidious? Is that the word? Take really great notes. You don't have to take perfect notes. You just need to record it and take notes of action items, things that you're going to follow up on. That's going to make it a lot easier to follow up with your action items because it's going to be a shorter amount of notes to review. And if you really need to, if you need to dig back, geez, did I say that to that customer? You've got the recording there. So very handy from that perspective. The other thing you can do, oh, Allison, I've already tried calling her so many times. She's ghosting me. You know what? I just want the system to follow up on Allison. I'm done with her. I could add her to a drip campaign called Revive Unresponsive Prospect. Now, this is going to do something a little bit fancier. This is going to do something that is inside the FunnelFLARE platform. Salesperson, again, still doesn't need to leave the platform. They can stay inside NoCRM, add them to this drip campaign, and then move on with life, move on to the next contact. But what that's going to do is it's going to take Allison and it's going to put her in this drip campaign or this workflow over here. So step one, added from NoCRM. So we've added Allison, and Allison goes through this on her own pace. So the first thing we've got here is a 2-day wait period because we've just added her. And then we've got an email that's going to get sent out to her. And this email is going to try to get her to click a link to check something out, maybe check out a resource or something like that. And right within the platform here, we're going to check, did she read that email? Did she click on it? If she did, we could schedule a NoCRM task or activity to follow up with her. So we could actually request that sales follows up and gives her a call. So that could be something that we could have in here. Otherwise, I didn't click on the email. Okay, well, we're going to wait. This email clicked step here is a wait period. Next, we'll send another email, wait a week, send another email. And then finally, if they haven't done anything interesting, let's set up a task inside NoCRM and tell sales to review this person. Just take a look. Is this person worth keeping in the CRM or not? Or should we just mark it as lost? And this is just a very simple way of doing something that most sales organizations already do. Most sales groups have this process nailed out. If the prospect is ghosting you, you will make 2 attempted calls, make 3 attempted emails, and then close it out. What this does is allows us to automate some of the process and provide more touch points without having to spend any more time on it. So rather than 2 calls and 3 emails, it could be 2 calls and 6 emails, or whatever the case might be. We could do these for monthly. We could do this. There's lots of different options for doing this. Now, what if Allison booked a meeting with us using our appointment scheduler, or replied to an email, or called? We probably want to kick her out of this campaign so she doesn't get all these emails that are going to bug her and try to get her to do something. That's where I would set goals for this campaign. So this campaign has some goals. If they fill in any form, submit the appointment scheduler, if they call back on our tracked phone number, or if they reply to an email, kick them out of this campaign. So this is just an easy way for us to process prospects that we're just repeating the same task over and over and over again. So really great way of extending the functionality of NoCRM to allow salespeople to get more done. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about, is it Shift F5? Yeah, there we go. That starts us from that same slide. The next piece that I wanted to talk about is scaling up prospecting. This is about getting more leads and getting more people into NoCRM. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can do this. Some companies opt to use NoCRM to hold all of their cold prospects, and that's an option. And NoCRM has a cold prospect section in it so that you can put people in. And some companies, their list maybe like it's really dirty and they've got like lots of people in there and it's a kind of a mess, and they want their SDRs to like hack at it, and then afterwards push those leads up to NoCRM. That's an option as well. So both of those are options that we can do with this kind of setup. Really, the thing to talk about here is this concept of using SDRs or BDRs, sales development representatives. Some companies are using this, and it's very commonplace. So in startups, in SaaS software, this style of getting leads is super duper common. And the concept is you build and qualify these lists of prospects. So you might have a list of the ideal customers that your company would like to get on. And your SDRs use a proven sequence. They use a series of steps that they use to get these prospects to the first step with your company. Usually that's booking a meeting. Usually they book a meeting, they book a demo, they do something like this. So these SDRs are calling out. They're typically doing 100 calls a day. I'm saying like calling 50 to 150 because it depends on the industry, but usually 100 per day. And their goal is to book meetings or demos with about 20 qualified prospects per month. Again, it's going to vary based on your industry, but I wanted to give you some like hard and fast numbers for the people out there who were kind of sitting on the fence about SDRs and didn't know approximately what to expect. Often SDRs, they work virtual or they work from home. So we kind of need software that supports this style of work. Now for SDRs, the challenges are just a little bit different. For them, that task switching thing is brutal, because imagine you have to make 100 calls a day, and you need to do emails, and you need to do social outreach, and you have to schedule the tasks and when to do them and manage. If you're calling 100 prospects a day and you're doing, let's say like a 2-week burn, how many is that you're now managing? Like 1,000 prospects? You can't do it unless the software is helping you manage that workload. And stop you from task switching, really. So there's a lot of time waste that you can save time here. So again, I'm going to hop over to the interface of FunnelFLARE just to show you how you can use it to help with this kind of thing, because I think there's a couple of cool things. Now, we talked about sequencing. I'm going to show you a sequence. It's going to look a little bit complicated, but I'm going to walk you through step by step to show you what it does. So this is a 3-touch sequence that we have built out. So we would add contacts to this list. Let's say we had like 100 contacts. So we added 100 contacts. They're going to be added to a power dialer list. I'm going to show you this in just a minute, how that works. And then we wait for a call for the call to complete. Once the call is complete, we remove them from the list and we check what happened after that call. Did we leave a message? Was there no answer? Did we identify an opportunity, or did we disqualify the prospect? Those are our kind of options from that call. I'll do the quick one first. Let's say that there's an opportunity identified, or we actually talked to the person. What's next? Well, next we'll check was the opportunity identified, and if it was, I think we should post an opportunity to NoCRM. So we can make that post up to NoCRM. We can change the status of the prospect, or if we saw it was disqualified, we could set that contact to disqualified. We could set that field right inside NoCRM. So this makes it very easy for the next person to take this, because again, our SDR, they're burning up the phones, they're calling out, they're making a bunch of calls, and then we need to make sure that their time afterwards is handled appropriately. So this basically moves it to someone else. What if this is more commonplace, especially right now during COVID? What if they called and they couldn't get the person? They got voicemail, or they just left a message. Okay, well, we're going to send an email follow-up. This email follow-up is templated. It's going to be the exact same one that all SDRs are going to get when they send it out. Then we're going to wait 3 days, add them back to the list, and they're going to get called. So I've been referenced to this power dial. There's a couple more calls in here, and the same kind of thing goes down. But let's look at and this looks complicated, but let's look at it from the SDR's point of view, because from their point of view, it couldn't be simpler. From their point of view, they use this power dialer list, and this is just accessible through this Chrome plugin that we use with FunnelFLARE. And they make these calls from this power dialer list. So they see their prospect, okay, Bob Smith, yeah, they can see what that prospect's been up to. Oh, yeah, it looks like we sent him, that was an interesting message, but it looks like we sent him a message. We could take a look at what the other people in the account have been up to. And then once we've done our bare minimum of familiarity, we can pull up a phone script that dynamically fills in the information that we need, and we can make that call out to that prospect. And again, we're calling right from here. We call from here. If we get their voicemail, we can click one button and it will drop a pre-recorded voicemail. Hey, this is AJ calling from FunnelFLARE. Just see that I missed you. Give me a call back. So whatever your voicemail is, right? So from the SDR's point of view, they're ripping through these contacts. They've got all the information they need. They do their call. They move to the next prospect. It automatically updates with all the information they need, and they're able to hit that 100 calls with ease. So it makes your SDRs a lot more capable, a lot more able to hit those big numbers with their calls. And if you're managing the cold prospects inside FunnelFLARE and then moving qualified leads up to NoCRM, you can also visualize where those prospects are at with a simple Kanban inside the interface. And again, this is the kind of thing that will be in NoCRM once we pop them up. But if we're just managing them while they're cold, we can do so here. So that's the general idea of what you can do with SDRs and what you can do with SDRs and FunnelFLARE. It's going to save us a lot more time on task switching, because from that power dialer interface, we can rip through prospects and it tells us what we need to do. So it's very simple from that perspective. It schedules all the follow-ups, so I don't need to remember to call or put it into my calendar or anything like that. I just open up the power dialer list and it's got a list of prospects that I know I need to call today. It saves time on emails because it also sends those on my behalf. So really, it's an extension of NoCRM. It allows NoCRM to do a lot more interesting things, and it's able to let us hit those high volumes right inside that NoCRM interface. So that's kind of the idea. FunnelFLARE is great for prospecting and increasing sales capacity with NoCRM. So that's my bit of the demo. If you wanted to see a live demo and you wanted to see if FunnelFLARE can do something particular, we do have a live demo booking on our website. We also have a 2-week free trial. So with that, I will hand things over to Sirwan.
I mean, it's always good to see a presentation of FunnelFLARE. I learn something new every time. I mean, that's crazy. So yeah, just to cover quickly what we're going to talk now, let me just turn this a little bit wider. So now we're going to focus on 3 main aspects, which are going to be the basics of lead management inside NoCRM. Basically, when your lead arrives in NoCRM, well, how you're going to interact with it, how you're going to make it move around, along your sales pipeline, and how is it built, obviously, until you actually close that deal, and then where does that deal go. Then we're going to focus on organizing your sales data, because this is like one of the primary things you need to do when creating leads and handling them. You need to make sure that they are properly categorized to be able to retrieve them easier later on. So we're going to cover that, and then we're going to have a look at all the analytics and reporting that you can have from NoCRM. So all those analytics and reporting relies on this system of categories and tags that we're going to cover. Okay, so the idea there is to be able, at the end of it, to highlight what's going to be your customers' persona, who are buying your products, where do they come from, what are their habits, what are their pain points, and then from that, you're going to be able to adapt your strategy toward that direction and making sure that you can close more of those deals. So let me just switch to my demo account of NoCRM over here. You should be able to see it. Now, let me just move that along. Perfect. Okay, so this is basically where your leads are going to go when they come from FunnelFLARE. They're going to reach the very beginning of your pipeline. Now, the pipeline NoCRM, it's really the heart. It's where the magic happens. Okay, from there, I can have a very clear view on all the active deals I have. And next to each of them, I have this little icon that tells me exactly if I need to take action or when I need to take action. All right, the red ones are what we call to-dos. it means that an action was planned for today or that you're late on it. If there is a little number here, it means you're late. So you should take action ASAP on it. So the red one, you need to take action, and the blue ones are what we call standbys. It means that your next action is already planned in the future, so you don't have to worry about those yet. Okay, when the date will come, you will get notified to take action on it. So this pipeline is actually what the first level of organizing your activity, because in NoCRM you can have multiple pipeline. For example, one for your casual leads, okay, your casual business that you're handling. Then you can have another one which is going to be directed to upsells or renewals, this kind of stuff. So you can have really like a pipeline for each of the processes that you have in your sales process. Okay. So let's dive into a lead itself to complete a little bit what Adriel was talking about earlier. So I'm sorry, on this account, I don't have the FunnelFLARE integration setup. So unfortunately, I won't be able to show you the little icons, but I just wanted to bounce on what Adriel was talking about earlier. The primary indicator of taking action in NoCRM is going to be the little status loop that you're seeing over here. Okay, it's exactly what I was talking about, to-dos and standbys. So when your lead is on to-do, hey, you need to take action on it. All right. So FunnelFLARE is going to tell you exactly what action you need to take. And the beauty of it, and that the thing that I didn't know, is that after you perform that action, you're gonna obviously set the reminder for the next one, and that's the pillar of NoCRM, is that you always have this next action plan, making sure that you always move forward with your leads, that you don't end up with leads rotting inside your pipeline where nothing is happening, nothing is planned. Obviously, you don't want that. So we always gonna push you to set up that next action right away. So very easy to do so. Just put it on standby, select the specific date and time you want to perform that action, and then you're gonna be able to plan it over here, for example, a call, and save it. Now, usually, when we are not using FunnelFLARE, what we do is we enter the last action we did, all right? But as I just learned from the presentation, you don't actually have to do this anymore, because FunnelFLARE is gonna log automatically all the actions that you take in the comment section over here, and this is gonna give you a very thorough, a very good history of everything that happened with your leads. From an SDR point of view, this is just a gold mine, all right? What you want to know is, okay, who's your prospects? When do you need to take action? And obviously, what action did you already took with them, okay? To know exactly where you stand. Now, moving on, the very important things that we need to talk about is the tag system on NoCRM. As I was saying earlier, the tags are there to make sure that every deal entering NoCRM is going to be properly categorized. Okay, you don't want deals that you cannot pinpoint what's the key aspects of them. All right, so those tags, they can take a multitude of forms. Actually, every business, every company can create categories and tags that are especially relevant for their activity. For example, here I choose to create a category that's called pain points. And when talking with my prospect, I'm going to be able to say exactly, okay, what are those pain points they're facing, okay? For example, they have problem with sales reporting, all good, I'm going to be able to pinpoint that. Lead management, all good, I'm going to be to pinpoint that too. Now, I can also create a category that's named, for example, product or services, which is going to be what product or what services they are interested in. Same thing again, I'm going to be able to log that information right away. Source of the lead, especially important when from a SDR point of view, and also for marketing, to know exactly where do your lead come from. Again, you're going to be able to log all those information right away, save it, and then they'll log on the deal itself. Now your deal is properly categorized, and you're going to be able to retrieve those deals thanks to those tags. All right. For example, if I'm interested in knowing all the leads that have a problem with sales reporting, I just can click on one of them over here, and it's going to open this little list in NoCRM with all the deals that are facing this problem. Okay. Now, just going back to the pipeline view, the real power of those categories and tags comes with the filters over there. So the filters, they're really you can use them at any points in NoCRM, okay? And they're gonna enable you, to really target the very specific deals that you're looking for. As you can see, you can filter by a lot of different filters, but the more powerful ones are by far the filter by tags. Thanks to them, you're going to be able to be to target those very specific leads that you want to work on or that you want to extract. Because from the CRM, you're going to be able to extract data, obviously, If you want to use it for another purposes, you're gonna be able to use the filters to only display the leads that are interested to you and then to export them afterwards. Now, I just want to show you something because those filters are very relevant for active leads, obviously, but they are also especially relevant when it comes to filter your won deals. So I'm just going to take back our example here, put it on one. Let's say that I perform all my action, reach the end of my pipeline over here, up, it went to quality control. I close the deals, money has been transferred, all good, this deal is done, perfect. Now it's saved, and it's gonna get into the client section over here. It went from the lead section to the client section over there. So now it's in the one lead section. And as you can see here, this is just a very big pool where all my deals are gonna get stored. And obviously, if I want to focus on some of them, I'm gonna need a way to target. So again, we're gonna use the little filters over here, and I'm gonna be able to get data to see the leads that are especially relevant for the purpose I need. Okay. So this was to organize properly your sales activity, to your sales data. Now, from those organizations, obviously you're gonna get some statistics out of it. You're gonna be able to highlight some numbers out of those deals. So for that, we're gonna get to the statistics section over there. You have a lot of statistics available on NoCRM. I'm not gonna show you all of those, obviously, because that would be an hour-long presentation. But I just want to show you the power of those categories and tags when using the statistics. So, for example, let's dive into the company performances over here. As you can see there, you have all the raw data of your accounts. So I know from here that, hey, I won 62 leads recently. This is the amount of money generated. I have a little graph over there that tells me exactly when all of that happened. But this is just very raw data. I mean, I cannot get a lot out of it. So I'm going to use the little system of categories and tags to dig deeper into the rabbit hole and get some very, very accurate data on my activity. So for example, I'm going to use the categories over here. If I'm interested in knowing exactly what type of services I'm offering is selling more, just click the category services over here. And all the deals that have the categories registered. So for example, here, lead generation, newsletter, SEO, everything is going to show up. And from this graph, I'm going to be able to say, hey, all right. So obviously, lead generation is what's working best. So let's focus on that. Okay. You always have these little charts, and obviously you have a little, the graph, sorry, and you have over there the little charts with all the numbers behind those graphs. Okay, so from there you're gonna be able to see exactly. Okay, lead generation, I created 45 leads. Okay, I won 16 of them. Who are they? Okay, just click on it and get the exact list of all the deals that have been won regarding lead generation. So that's really powerful. Okay, from that you're gonna be able to see exactly which what your customers are interested in. Right. Same thing works for the source of the lead. For example, okay, where does my lead come from? Same thing. Okay, they mostly come from LinkedIn. Perfect. So let's enhance our strategy on LinkedIn because this is what's working best so far. So now, just a couple of more statistics that you can do. I just want to show you something that I didn't plan to show at the beginning, but since Adriel showed us how the activity were automatically logged on NoCRM, I just want to show you the team's activity, because from an administrator perspective, from somebody who's handling a team, it's very important to have a quick look and a precise look on everything that's happening on your accounts. So from the team's activity, you're gonna be able to see exactly what action have been performed by all of your users. So from here, you have the number of activities and the number of created leads from them. But this is, again, very raw data. You can get down here, and from this little graph over there, you will have a very, very precise information on all the action that have been performed by all your users. And this is what FunnelFLARE is going to come into play. It's going to automatically log those information, so your users will not have to do it manually. That's the beauty of it, because usually what you do is just log the information manually on the leads. But with FunnelFLARE happening, you don't need to even worry about it. It's going to be automatically logged in. For example, here, if I'm interested in knowing exactly what qualification call Nicolas did, I just have to click on it, and I can see right away that Nicolas did those 2 calls with those 2 leads and the date that comes with it. Okay, so from an administrator point of view, this is really like a gold mine to keep a good look on everything happening on your account, making sure that your people are working and working effectively. Okay, and you can use those filters pretty much everywhere on all the statistics on NoCRM. Okay, this is the power of it. For example, quick last example, pipeline performances is going to tell you exactly how many deals are moving forward into your pipeline, and it's going to tell you exactly where do you start losing some deals. Okay, so this is at this step, for example, I have some leads dying over there. So okay, let's increase our strategy towards qualifying more leads, making sure that the leads don't die over there. Okay, so again, a lot of statistics available, and you can use those filters at pretty much every level of it. Here I was showing you the categories, but you can even dig deeper and deeper with filtering by team, user, pipeline, tags, anything that you want. You're interested in knowing which lead come from Valladolid in Spain? Perfect, you got it. You get it over here, okay? And you get the numbers behind all of it. So that's really like the beauty of NoCRM, is that you can start categorizing all those information from your deals and getting the statistics behind them. And obviously, you're going to be able to highlight your consumers' persona, what they prefer to buy, where do they come from, what pain points they're facing, and then you're going to be able to adapt your strategy, your communication toward that specific persona. And that's pretty much it for me also. So I'm just going to give back the voice to Adriel. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can just pop in.
You can take it back. Okay, perfect.
I think one of the cool things you mentioned there was tying back the source of the lead. Like, it's so hard for marketing to see what is working. There, oftentimes in marketing, it kind of feels like you're just throwing money into a fire and hoping that some of it turns out into deals. So to be able to get the leads and to be able to see those leads closing really ties the loop between sales and marketing.
Exactly. Yeah, that's one of the strong, let's say, one of the challenges we have at NoCRM with my current activity. Is knowing exactly where the leads come from, because you're never sure. So one of the good things that we do usually when we are talking with the lead, I'm just going to show you this quickly. We tends to use what we call a little qualification script over there. It's a little script that you can use to capture information on your lead. And then from this script, you're going to be able to ask all the relevant questions. And most of the time, last question we have is, okay, where do you come from? Basically, how did you heard of NoCRM? And then thanks to that information, I'm going to be able to create a tag and tag it accordingly. So that's really like, the idea is to collect all the relevant data on your leads, and making sure it's registered and that you can retrieve it later on.
Sales checklist, I love it.
Yeah.
That's great for repeatability and consistency, and something that a lot of sales organizations don't have a sales checklist. They just kind of wing it every time they get a new prospect in. But if you want consistency and you want the best performance out of those leads, you gotta ask those consistent questions. And
you have to a process that is the same for each of them, and that's what the sales script is very good for. You will have the same process for all of your leads, and making sure again that you qualify them properly.
I'm sure the delivery people, like the people in services and onboarding and implementation, love that you're always getting those consistent answers as well, because I always find that they always have the same questions that they need answered before they work on an account.
Exactly.
And for sales to get that stuff early on probably really speeds up the time to adoption.